Yeah, look, we knew we were in for a battle. Pillsbury's numbers were really good. He's opponents hitting 191 off of him. He's give up 5 runs the entire season, so we knew we were going to have our hands full. We had to pitch extremely well, and Declan Dahl did that. He gave us every opportunity to win the ball game tonight. I don't think you can ask a young man to pitch much better than he did tonight. And if it's Friday night and you're facing a really good arm, you generally get 1 or 2 opportunities to score. And we had it. You know, we had bases loaded and we had Lunsford up, and we forced them to bring in their closer, and he got a big punch out. The only guy in our lineup I think didn't strike out was Halsey, and it's pretty evident that opponents are not going to let him beat them. We need some other guys to step up, and if we're able to get a walk or if we're able to get a hit there, they got to pitch to him. And the wind's blowing out a little bit out of center, not of right, playing right into his hands. So it forces. That's how winning and losing. It's a razor thin margin. You know, the game within the game is. Again, if you were able to score there, now they got to pitch to our best hitter, and they didn't want to do that. And credit their closer. He came in and he got a big punch out on Lunsford, and we brought Fisher in late in the game. The guy he was faced that was coming up, I thought Nichols threw really well. Reason we went with Fisher is because it was 2-0, and I think the young man, the numbers showed he had not got a hit all year off a ball above 90 miles per hour, and you got to give him a lot of credit too. We had to bring our infield in, so we had a chance to throw the runner out, and I think the pitch he hit was 91, and he hit it over our center fielder's head. So, it's high risk, high reward, and credit him. He got on one, drove it over Zeb's head, and now they pushed the lead 4-0, and it's going to be extremely hard with that guy in the game. If there is one positive to the night, we did force them to bring in their closer, and he had to throw 3 innings. Once he's in the game, he's in. They couldn't take him out, so I don't know how they'll play out the rest of the weekend. He had to throw a lot of pitches, so I don't know his availability the rest of the weekend. But if there is a positive, we did force them to bring in their guy, and he had to throw a lot of pitches. It was just disappointing. There wasn't a lot of stressful innings on Pillsbury. He's really good. A lot of late life, and we just didn't make many adjustments. We talked about it in the dugout all night. Make adjustments. But he was as advertised. He's give up 5 runs all year, and he made pitches when he had to, and he was good. It was a real Friday night college baseball game. Runs are going to be at a minimum. Two guys that know how to pitch, that are really good, and they were going at each other. And I feel bad for Declan. He deserved a better fate tonight. Very proud of him.
Pillsbury's, breaking ball was giving you guys fits. I mean, just tell me, after those first couple scoreless innings, do you feel like your guys started pressing a little bit at the plate?
I think so. Look, it's hitting's hard, and I was talking to their coach before the game, and he was telling me how good he was. As advertised, the scouting reports, get your swings off, because he doesn't walk people, and I don't know how many he walked tonight. Maybe one, maybe Trey. I know he pitched around Trey one time. It was obvious they were pitching around him. They threw 4 balls that were nowhere near the zone. That might have been the only walk of the night. But yeah, we were, getting our swings off, and again, he was getting beneath our barrel. It was late life. It makes it extremely tough on a hitter. I just was disappointed. Not many adjustments. We tried to bunt a couple times, move him around. We weren't able to do that, and he pitched. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat to that guy, and he was really good tonight. I think we could have put more pressure on him, obviously, and that's the disappointing thing. But sometimes you tip your hat to the other guy, and he was really good. We got his pitch count up, but when you punch out that many people, your pitch count is going to get up. We just, again, he didn't have to battle through much adversity. A couple times we had runners on, and he got out of it, and so did Declan. I mean, they had opportunities to blow the game open, and I thought Declan bared down, and he was able to get out of those innings or minimize them. Just feel for him because, like I said, he deserved a better fate tonight. But it is what it is, and we still have a chance to win the series. Come out tomorrow. We got to put this one behind us. It is in the past now. We live in the present. We got to come out tomorrow. We'll face another lefty. It'll be a totally different arm. It'll be a power arm. A guy that throws extremely hard. So we'll have to have a different way of approaching him tomorrow. So they're really good. They've won 22 games and they're 7-0 in our league, and we knew what we were up against. But I think our guys, they played hard. I thought the intensity was there. I thought the the energy was there. I do think they pressed a little bit, you know, when you're not driving in runs and the Ks start racking up, guys start pressing a little bit, and that was a disappointing part. But again, you got to credit him for pitching a really good game.
Declan had those 2 innings where he had nobody out, 2 runners on, and he worked around with no damage. I mean, just what does that say about how he's grown and his composure on the mound?
He's outstanding. Look, every time, I think maybe he's had one bad outing really the entire season. And I know their guy threw 130 maybe last weekend. Declan continues to throw a lot of pitches because he gets strikeouts too. Again, they had their opportunities. They're a really good hitting team, and Declan was phenomenal to able to minimize and to work around that. I thought we made some pretty good defensive plays. We started a young man in left field that hadn't been out there, so it's a 1-0 game. We make a move, and you know the guy's been playing out there drops the ball, and that's when things aren't going good. Those kind of things happen, but you have to make your own breaks. And when things are going good like it is for them, those things happen the other way. So, you know, that was unfortunate. But if you can keep it to 2-0, that's why we brought Fisher in. And again, you know, a guy off the bench, he hadn't been in the game very long, and you know, it showed velocity gets him, and he got on one and drove it. And you got to credit their guy for having a great at bat and doing that.
Yeah, you kind of shuffled the lineup a little bit tonight. I mean, do you still feel like you're trying to work through who the best 9 guys are out there?
Yeah, we are. You know, we're halfway through the season pretty much. I think tomorrow will be the halfway point, and you know, still trying to figure out what the best 9 is. And it's not. We had a tremendous practice yesterday after a long road trip, and I thought it was one of our better practices of the year. You know, but you run into a good arm, and good pitching is gonna dice you up, and it always has and always will. We weren't able to draw many walks. We weren't able to get runners on and move them around, and when you can't do that, and a guy like that's getting the strikeouts, you know, it's going to be extremely hard to score runs.
Next 2 games still huge in the standings. Just what adjustments do you need to see from your guys to come out with the, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we need to come out with a great attitude. That was the message. This is short and sweet. Look, I'm not mad at anybody. Disappointed in maybe the compete at home plate a little bit, but it's easy to say that when you're not up there. You know, you're watching the guy pitch, and he's really good. I mean, but we faced good pitchers before, and we've been able to put up runs, and you know, tonight we weren't able to do that. But again, it'll be another lefty, and it'll be a different type guy. We got to be ready to go with that. And yeah, I feel good about our chances to come out and win a series. You know, we didn't play extremely great tonight, but you know, we did some things good. And again, we forced them to use their closer, and he had to throw 3 innings. So if there is a positive, that's it. You know, that he had to get in the ball game to try to win it.